that golden age, that heaven on earth, is ours to create. But the dilemma for most people is we want our own personal golden age. We want our own heaven on earth. But we don't actually want to do anything to create it. And so, for example, we all understand that we can't have a golden age while people are suffering and dying of hunger. And yet, are we prepared to make the choices in our own diets, in our own lives, that actually would enable people of this earth to be fed? We understand that we can't have a golden age while women and children are suffering in sweatshops. But are we prepared to stop clamoring for more, cheaper, that requires companies to employ slave labor to give us what we want at the only price we'll pay for it? And so this is why that golden age isn't coming quite as quickly as we may like. Is everybody wants an honest politician. Until I've got some work to do, at which point I would really like there to be someone to whom I could slip a few rupees who would get my work done. We have to stop being the obstacles to it. If the world turned vegetarian, not one person would have to die of hunger or sleep hungry. We produce enough grain to feed 10 billion people a day. There's only 7+ billion on the planet. And tens of thousands of children die of starvation. But we'd have to be prepared to make that choice. If we insisted that everything we bought was organic, was fair trade, came from a factory with a certificate that showed that its waste was not going into our soil, going into Ganga, polluting our air, well, then factories would have to stop polluting the soil and the water and the air. But it might cost us a little more. Are we prepared to make those choices? I want the best for me, the biggest piece of the pie for me. But what that inevitably means is less for others. So heaven on earth and golden age cannot be created as long as I'm thinking about me. My sense of self must expand, and it must expand to include children who are dying of hunger. It must expand to include women working in sweatshops. It must expand to include trees being cut down in the Amazon and the indigenous people who live there. When that sense of self expands to include all of that, then I actually can be an agent of ushering in a golden age. But until then, we're just still going to keep living in the ego age.